Danielle DeLay with The Buzz, sitting down today with Grammy Award winner Joss Stone. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, love?
Good, thank you. Now, you celebrated your 20-year of making music milestone recently. Wow, congratulations on
I
that.
can't believe that. 20 years just goes.
Yeah,
It's
incredible.
gone.
So let's take it back to the beginning. When you were recording the Soul Sessions, what was the mindset like for the direction of songs that would make that album?
Gosh. Okay, so that album was all covers, the Soul Sessions. And I had been writing, I mean, I was a kid. So I was signed when I was 14 to S-Curve Records. And before I got signed, I'd been in a couple writing sessions, and I'd been sort of encouraged to write by these lovely people that managed me at the time. They were like, Joss, you know, you can do it. You can write songs. Because I used to write poems and things. They were like, that's all a song is. Just take a poem, but melody is the song. So I was like, oh, let me try. So I tried to do this. Then when I got signed to this guy, he was like, oh yeah, no, we just want to do covers. And I was like, I don't want to do covers. I don't want to do it. You know, I was a kid. I was just so upset. I was like, no, everyone's going to think I'm a karaoke artist, you know. But anyway, yep, he was very clear that that is what we were doing. And so that was the Soul Sessions. That was my first album. And honestly, that was the best decision that he made to push that, because, and I don't even know if he knows really the reason why it was, but it taught me so much. So I was singing songs that were great and had been great for years. And I worked with a lady named Betty Wright, who was my mentor throughout that project. And she wouldn't have been around if that project hadn't have been in Steve's mind, you know, the covers. The idea of getting all these soul musicians together that had played together when they were young, and then at this point they were 60 and 70, and he pulled them all together, and it was just like a reunion. They were so like happy to be playing music. And then there was this little girl from England that they got to teach, and I was like, okay, I guess I just follow them. And I'm so glad I did, because now I think that shaped me, like it shaped me sonically, you know. Yeah.
I think that's incredible. Like, looking back on it, do you think because you were so young, you didn't realize the big task you were taking on? They're covers of these iconic songs.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was that. So that was another reason why I didn't want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
I
did realize the gravitas of it. And there's one song on there called I've Fallen in Love with You by Carla Thomas. So Steve sits me down, he's playing me all these soul records, and I'm like, wow, they're all great, they're all amazing. And that one, the version he played me was Carla Thomas singing it live. And you know, she's a woman. She wasn't a little girl. She was a woman singing about being in love with someone. And I was like, I was brought to tears by it. And he goes, that's great, you should do that one. I was like, I should not do that one. Oh, why not? You loved it. You told me you loved it. But I don't know what to like feel when I'm singing that. I kept saying like, I'm a kid. Like, I have never fallen in love. You know, not really. Like, I'm not going to do this justice. So my insecurities then were massive, as they are, you know, when you're a teenager, they're massive anyway. But they were massive for a good reason. It's because I didn't bloody know what I was doing, and because I'd never sung in front of anyone before. Like, it wasn't, you know, when you're insecure about something that's not really real, like you might think, oh, my skin's not right, or my lips aren't, you know what I mean? No, this was a real insecurity that came from a real lack of skill, like a true lack of skill. So I was like, why am I doing this? And yeah, it was a weird time, but I think you have to go for it in this life. Go head first.
Yeah.
I've learned sort of the hard way, and it was hard and it was scary, but I think it worked out. I think it taught me good things.
I think it worked out. We're sitting here today.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah. I still have the same job. No one fired me yet. So it's good. It's good.
And the music industry was at a different time back then.
Yeah.
You're at such a young age. How did you handle the demands of having such a huge breakout album?
I just worked a lot, and I just did what was on the schedule for working. Like, I was sort of like, head down, let's go. So each day I got a different gig to do. So it was like, okay, today we're going to do a photo shoot. Okay, we're going to go and do a gig. All right, we'll rehearse, let's go. I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention to what was going on. Like all around me, okay, they were receiving and consuming what we were giving, but I wasn't receiving and consuming it. I was just giving it. Whereas now you have social media, you can consume your own stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I sing, even today, I'm doing an interview today, I can go and look it up and watch it. I won't do that.
Yeah.
But you can. So you can become, I think it's a bit dodgy really, because you can become, especially young people sort of, because of the insecurities that come with just being a teenager. We all had a difficult time at that time. You sort of can start picking at yourself a little bit. And I worry about the youth in a way. And it makes me sound really old. But I worry about anyone actually, not just the youth, just anyone that's like trying to do something as pure and as raw as like singing your heart to someone. Don't look back at that. I didn't. I just went and did it. And the world took it as whatever it was. But I didn't have the opportunity to sit there with my phone and go, oh, let me see. Oh my God, I sang that out of tune. Now I do not read reviews because it's just like, sometimes it's wonderful and sometimes it's not, you know? And it's like, oh, I don't want it. I don't want it. And everyone I know and love, they know, don't send it to her. I just don't want it. And if someone does send it to me, it's only because they couldn't help it, because it was so good. They had to show me. So I know it's sent with love. But it's sort of like I protect myself from that. Yeah.
That's amazing, and amazing that you were so flexible when you were young to go with all of that. Your voice is such a standout, has always been a standout, and you've been compared to Adele, Amy Winehouse, and also before that, Lisa Stansfield. Do you, when you hear those, are you happy and are you excited that you're part of conversations, including those artists that paved the way for these new generation of artists to cross barriers like you did?
Definitely. And the first two you mentioned, they are UK girls. So is Lisa Stansfield UK? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Is she? Oh, so it's three.
Yeah.
All UK. So this is a good group of people to be part of. I mean, and so talented. Yeah, it's always great. It's always great to be, you know, to be kind of part of that conversation that's positive, that you personally like. You know, it's like, oh, yay. Someone thinks I'm as good as them. Oh, that's fun. It's a nice little, like, it's a bit of validation, isn't it? You're like, oh, thank God. You know, yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful.
And moving forward, after 2015 came, there was a little bit of a gap in your releasing music. Did you take a break then, or were you...
2015?
Yes, after 2015. There was an album, then a bit of a break.
I don't actually
We've gone
know.
back too far.
Hang on. I actually don't know the dates that I put anything out. But I think what you're talking about is maybe the world tour. I don't know when I started that.
Might be the break.
But maybe, yeah. So there's no break. I wish to God that I had had a break in this life. Now I've got kids, I'm like, why didn't I take a break just to relax before? No, there's no break. But I think for the world there has been, right? So when I left the labels, the big major labels, when I left them, that was after the third album. I don't know what year that was. Maybe it was then. No, I don't think it was. Anyway, it was after the third album. And then I was like, I want to make music, but I just want to do what I want, you know? So I had a bit of a moment where I just wanted to go to every country, and I wanted to do a world tour, but actually do one rather than just say it was one. So I went to every country in the world, which took a long time to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't really do any press. Like, I didn't sit down like this and I didn't say, hey, I'm going on a world tour. So it definitely came across like I went somewhere to go and have, I don't know, a pina colada and like relax on the beach.
And that was the
I
world.
wish I did.
And that was the world tour where you collaborated with someone from every
in each country. Yeah, that was fun. That was really, it was amazing. I really enjoyed that. That time, it was hard because it was sort of exhausting, but great though. Like I felt like the point was not lost. You know, the purpose was not lost. And sometimes when you're doing the traditional style of like releasing music and promoting it and stuff, I found that I was doing less singing than I was doing prancing around in front of cameras and photo shoots and red carpets and interviews and all that kind of stuff. I found that I wasn't singing that much. And And that's not the point. Well, not for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't the point for me. It wasn't why I began.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did the world tour, I felt like, this is the point. That's what I want to do. I want to sing for people and make them happy. And it might have been 10 people. I remember we were in Mauritania and we didn't have anywhere to sing. So we were like, okay, we're asking around. We found this place. It was like a pizza place / cafe. Mm-hmm. And they had a little, you know, like a mic in the corner. And this girl sang. And they said, you can go and sing after her if you like. So I said, cool. So I got up and I sang. And then people in this, like, started coming in from the street.
Yeah.
And there was this guy who had some percussive instruments. He started playing with us. And everyone was standing up. And it was like, oh, this is so magic. Like, this is music at work. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
Such a moment and bringing everyone together.
Yeah. And all it is making noises. But it's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Incredible.
Okay, so what type of music do you like to listen to? What's your favourite song?
I want Let It Go.
Let It Go?
Let It Go.
And what do you like, Shaq?
Flipper.
Say again?
Flipper.
Okay. Do 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 do. Is that the one that you like?
Baby Shaggy.
Yeah.
How has motherhood changed you as an artist?
As an artist, I think I just do less. Like, my tours are shorter. So, yeah. And also, when I'm on stage, all I want to talk about is my kids. I'm like, why am I talking about my kids in between songs? But I always am thinking about them. Mm-hmm. So, it's just like part of me now. I don't know, I just love them. I do love them.
Are they musically inclined?
No, not really. They're funny. It's so funny. I was like, okay, Violet, let's sing together. And they say you get your pitch, right? I don't know if this is true or false. They say you get your pitch by the time you're 3. And I'm like, I don't think that's happening with my kids. Maybe it will later. This is your note. I'm trying. It's very funny. But they do love music. I mean, they love to dance. Mm-hmm. There's a thing called, have you got kids?
No, not yet.
So there's a thing called Danny Go.
Oh.
And it is helpful to get your kids' energy out. So when you have them, I've got loads of tips. Give me a call.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
I will.
you're gonna need some tips there, love, because they're crazy little things. Yeah. But it's so much fun. It is just brilliant. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Yes. No, I will definitely be calling you.
Yeah,
for
be
those
calling me
tips.
because honestly, it's crazy. The amount of things that you're told before you have kids that you sort of just like forget about. They're all important. Like take notes, you know.
Now, as we get older, our voice changes,
Yeah.
and then as vocalists, you have
Yeah.
to adapt to that.
Oh yeah.
And you've been vocal, pun intended, about COVID and the way it affected your voice.
Oh yeah.
How is that now?
Oh, it's fine. It's only when you have it.
It's only when you had it. Okay.
So 2 things that have affected my voice like weirdly and markedly was COVID and being pregnant. My goodness me. Totally. Like there is something that happens to you. But I will say this, when I got COVID, when I was on tour, this was so embarrassing. This was actually my most embarrassing moment. Like I think I can ever say I've ever had. I was on stage in Savannah. I'm so sorry to anyone that came to this gig. I was on stage, I got 3 songs in and my voice was like, nope. And I didn't feel like, I guess I felt like I had a bit of like chills. I didn't feel really sick. I was like, you know, when you get that fevery thing, but it's light, but just my voice. It was just like, bye, see ya. So all I could sing was the soft, like, la, 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 la. I couldn't do anything else. And all my songs have much more than that. So I turned to my band and I was like, do you guys know, because this is a new band. It wasn't like my old band from time past. My old band from time past, they all sort of dissipated when COVID happened because they went and did different things and, you know. So the new band, only one of them really knew like a bunch of my songs, but they were like, we don't know anything. I'm like, ah. So I've got this whole audience of people looking at me like, why isn't she doing anything? So I had to say in the mic, I'm so sorry, my voice, I don't know what's happening. And the wonderful American audience are like, sing girl, go sing. I'm like, can't sing. So I tried, I did my best I could. I went up to Chris, my sound engineer, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, it's gone. And how many more minutes do I have to do? He's like, you've got an hour to sing. I'm like, oh God. It was just so, I wish the whole had come and sucked me up at that moment. I was so embarrassed. Anyway, so I get off stage and there was a meet and greet, which is awful because I probably bloody gave COVID to everyone. I didn't know I had COVID at the time. I just thought some bloody alien had got me. Yeah. And I'm saying, I'm so sorry. And they're like, don't worry, it was fine, it was great. I'm like, no, it was awful. Like, I'd be surprised if they ever come and see me again. Oh, it was the worst. I get onto the bus and I'm like, guys, I just don't feel right. And then I started going, God, I feel sick. And I said, and I'd done the COVID test. So I did the COVID test. They were like, you have COVID. The tour is done. Like, everything's done. Oh, no. You have to isolate, da da da. And then I started heaving. I said, I don't think that's not a symptom of COVID. And Cody said, you're pregnant. I said, no, I am not. That is ridiculous. Anyway, I took a test. I was not. He's like, you are. He just denied. He was like, no, you are. And of course he was right. 10 days later, it turned up and I was pregnant.
Oh my God.
So I was pregnant and had COVID at the same time. So I don't know whether it was just a combination.
Yeah.
Because when you're pregnant, there's something in you that releases. They call it relaxin. So it makes all your muscles ready to stretch and be massive. You know, it doesn't miss out your vocal cords. It doesn't just leave that to one side because you're a singer. So that was awful. Sorry for the long answer.
Did you ever go back there again to perform? Or
I haven't been back yet. I'm scared. I don't know if they'll come. I didn't get any booze. They were very supportive. Like, the people were very sweet. But honestly, hun, if you went to see an artist you loved and they got to the third song and they were just like, you probably wouldn't go back. Oh God,
I think I'd understand. But yes, let's move on.
This is awful. Yeah. Why are you talking about this? It's terrible. And then everyone was mad at me. Oh God, yeah, it was drama. Anyway, moving on.
That's COVID. It came with some drama.
Yeah, we need to make a song about that. Bloody hell.
Now, back to the first question of celebrating your 20 years of making music milestone. What was the moment like when you were recording the 20 years of Soul live in concert?
Okay, so the 20th year came upon us, and I didn't know it was coming until I was sat doing interviews like I am now, and the interviewer was like, so next year's your 20th year. I was like, no, it's bloody not. Anyway, they reminded me, thank you to all those people. So I asked the fans, you know, I had asked them separately, you know, what is it that you guys want to see? What kind of music do you want to hear? You know, what are you feeling? And they all had said a live album, a live album, a live album. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm too scared. What if it sounds like shit? Anyway, when it got to the 20th year, I thought, this is a nice time, you know, because we created the show so it spanned over the entire 20 years. So I could sort of tell the story from the beginning to the middle, to the Total World Tour even, we had a song from there, and you know, to the end. And that was, or to the now, should I say. And that was like a really wonderful time to record a live album. Whereas if I'd done it before, it would have been like a record release, you know, so a couple of the old songs and then a lot of the new ones. But this was a lovely, like, just span of everything. And the band was so good. So when I heard it back, because we picked, the whole year we sang that tour, and then I picked from the last chunk, I picked from different gigs. It wasn't all one gig.
Okay.
So we recorded them all, because I thought, geez, if I have a bad gig and that's the one we record, we're in trouble. So I recorded all the gigs. I think it was the last American run that we did. And I just listened to them all and I just picked, oh, that one worked. Oh, the audience were funny in this one, you know, stuff like that. And then we just, you know, knitted it together and mixed it. And it sounds so good. I was like, I can't believe this. Like, it felt really, I was folding the clothes for the kids when I was listening to the mix. I do have to, you know, multitask now. Yeah. So I'm like, I have this mountain of clothes and I'm folding them, listening to the mix, and I'm like crying because I felt so proud of myself, honestly. It's like, this does sound good. And I can sing now. Yeah. And I have still got this gig, and it was one of those moments like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know? I'm glad I did it. I'm glad they asked me to do it.
And you know I got you really good, 'cause there's something deep inside of me I got to breathe. If you find it hard to follow me, if I lose you in my midstream, then you only gotta realize and see me belong. Don't tell me that I'm not I. Don't tell me that I'm not I. Don't tell me that my best love ain't coming through.
You have some new music out at the moment, so we've got to talk about that. What was the inspiration behind Loving You?
Oh, loving you. So I wrote that song when I first was dating Cody, my lovely man. This is before babies. I was in New Jersey at the time, randomly. We had a little fire outside. That's the Flickr show that I talk about. We would drink wine out there. And this is sort of the moment I realised that he's not a night owl. And I am. Like, I like to stay up all night chatting away, you know. Any of my friends would tell you that. We would talk and talk and talk. So yeah, Cody had gone to sleep, like I did most nights. Okay, baby, I'm tired. Night, night. So I just go up to, I had a little tiny studio in the top room, and I just wrote this song about him. And it sort of, as it flows, it sort of sounds like unrequited love, because I'm saying come back, you know, but really what I'm saying is wake up, you know, like, why are you asleep? I'm trying to think of things to say to keep him up, you know, to keep him with me. I'm like one of those annoying people at the party, like, come on, let's dance.
Let's keep going.
So,
It's too
yeah.
early.
Yes, come on, we can see the sunrise. And he's like, you know. So that's really what the song's about. And Shaggy is, he's featuring on the second version of it.
Yes, I love
So that's
that.
really fun.
How did that collaboration come about?
So I'd met him in a hotel in London. Just randomly, I'd met him, just crossed paths. And he was just so sweet. We just got along. He's a lovely bloke. And yeah, over the years, we've kept in contact. And he came to do my podcast, A Cup of Happy. So I just interview people about happiness and how to get that, and how to, you know, little tips and tricks on how to nurture your happiness, because you can't get it. You have to continue, you know, it's a journey. So yeah, we interview doctors and, you know, psychologists and stuff
very
like
cool.
that, like really interesting people, and sometimes artists too. And Shaggy is one of our wonderful artists on A Cup of Happy podcast, and he had some really good advice on how to be happy, but like really how to take control of you and your world, and how to not let people take the piss. Like that was his main thing, and it was just brilliant having him on. So because of that, I was like, hey, you want to be on this song? It's a nice little summer vibe. He said, sure.
Oh, amazing. I'm going to check that out, get those happiness tips.
Yeah, check it out.
Yes.
It is really interesting. It's helped me a few times. There's one guy that said, put a pencil in your mouth.
Oh.
I know. He's like, get a pencil and like bite it out there. And that, just alone, and then do a little laugh. This is if you're having a really bad day.
Yeah.
First of all, it's going to make you laugh because you've got a pencil in your mouth and you're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also, it would trigger your brain because your face has changed into a smile.
Oh.
So it would go, hey, am I happy? I thought I was that. No, you're good. You can trick yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to trick ourselves. We have to have a good, strong talking to ourselves in the mirror if you need to. Just be like, you're good, you're good,
Yes.
you're good. Breathe. Are you breathing? You're good.
And I'm very excited about the news that you're going on tour next year with Melissa Etheridge. Tell me about the tour dates. When does it start, and what cities will you be performing in?
Oh God, I don't know the cities.
Oh, okay.
Somebody here knows.
Some
We're going to, it's North America.
North America. Okay.
North America, I know Canada's in there. We popped that in there because we were up that way.
Beautiful.
I'm pretty sure we start in New Jersey, and it's 11 dates at the end of April. So maybe I'll celebrate my birthday. My birthday's on April 11th. Cody's is April 20th. I'll probably celebrate his birthday while I'm on the road. Yeah, so it's fun because Melissa Etheridge has been a massive influence for me, like since I was born. My mum went to her concert when I was in her belly. And like every single one of us, my whole family know all the words to her Brave and Crazy album. Like, we are fans. So to have that with her is like, it's very exciting. My dad's flying in to come and see the gigs. Like, he's just so
beautiful.
excited. Yeah, so I got to sing with her 20 years ago on the Grammys.
Grammys. I was going to say, will you be bringing
Yeah.
back any of that iconic duo performance?
I
for
think
the
we
tour?
should. Yeah, I think we should. I don't know. I haven't chatted to her about it, but I think we should.
Yeah.
You know, so I sing, I do my set, and then she comes and does her set. I'd like to.
Maybe for when your dad's there as well.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You got to bring that back for him.
Exactly. Yeah, that was so cool, isn't it? She's just so cool. You know, she's a very she's very soulful. She's a brilliant lyricist. She's just so cool, and she's just. I think she's stood up for women for a long, long time, and she's been very inspiring to people.
Now, having a family, how does that affect your tour life, and do you still enjoy touring?
It's hard, you know, because I only enjoy the gig. But the other 23 hours, I'm like, I want to go home. I want to go to my babies.
Yes.
So I live for the gig when I'm on the road, you know. I'm like, I'm not out. I mean, I never really was.
Yeah.
I never really was one to party or anything, but I sort of just want to be with my babies.
Yeah.
You know, so the tours are really short because of that. So still got to go to work,
Yes.
you know, and I still have to nurture who I am. So I still have to make music, because otherwise I think I would be miserable on the other hand, you know. I do need to have a balance,
Yeah.
but I just don't feel like it's natural for me to leave them. I just don't. It just doesn't feel like a good thing. I know I have to do it, I know, but it's just, no.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to think about that when they're at the gig. Like, I don't want them to be like, this poor girl, she's miserable. No, I'm not miserable when I'm playing the gig.
Yes.
That's my relief. Because I get to be part of music. Music is it's almost like a little window to something to ease your soul and spirit, you know. So you can just like walk through that door or that window, just for a minute, and just cover yourself in that music. You know, it can help you with a lot of things, and it definitely helps me. And when I see people being helped by it, like immediately in front of me, the joy of live music is that for me. I'm seeing that happening right in front of my face. Sometimes people are crying, sometimes they're singing along, sometimes they're hugging each other. And they're not paying attention to what's going on stage, but they're feeling it, and they're in love, you know. It's like, music is good like that. You wouldn't see that happening just in the office.
No, music is so healing, so
Pretty magic.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially live music.
Yeah,
There's nothing like it.
it's nice.
Yeah. Now, the holidays are quickly approaching. I feel like it comes to July 4, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden we're in fast forward,
Yeah.
and it's Christmas.
Yes.
You have your Christmas album,
Yeah.
and you also have some awesome Christmas shows coming up. Whereabouts are those? And
So the Christmas shows, one of them's in Chicago, and the other one is in Casa de Mesa. Have I said that right?
or Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa. Yes,
Costa Mesa Christmas shows. 2 dates.
2 dates there.
Yes.
And that's not far from here, is it?
No.
That's like an hour away from here
Yeah.
or something. So that's cool.
So anyone in Los Angeles,
yeah.
pop down to Costa Mesa.
Yes, we can have little Christmas vibes.
Yes.
It's going to be magic. I love Christmas. It's like my favorite time of year. So now I have this album, I can do Christmas gigs. That's fun.
Did you do the album because of your love for Christmas, or was it a fan requested?
I sort of always wanted to do a Christmas album. But I'd never really been brave enough again, because they're mainly all covers. No one wants to hear a Christmas album full of originals. I didn't want to do any originals. I was like, no, let's not wreck Christmas. Like, Christmas is beautiful just the way it is. Like, let's go get them Frank Sinatra songs out. Away in the Manger, Silent Night, let's go. Like, I love all the beauty that comes with that. And the label that put that record out was actually the guy that originally signed me as a kid. He was like, yes, can you make some originals? Funny that you wanted me to write originals, isn't it?
Yeah. Isn't it
So funny.
Yeah.
So funny. I'm like, hang on a minute, I thought you wanted covers.
Yeah.
So
Now
anyway,
you want to do covers.
now you want originals.
Yeah, originals, yeah.
So I did 2. And actually, I'm so glad that I was pushed to do those because I love them. Like, I'm not embarrassed at all. I'm like, oh, yes. It's very like, I felt that the fear was that you're going to crush Christmas and ruin it with some pop silliness. But it's just like magic. There's one called If You Believe, which just makes me feel like I'm in a movie. My hubby introduced me to the movie Polar Express. I'd never seen that before until I met him.
Yeah.
So, and that is all about, if you believe, you can hear the bell ringing. So I wrote it as if I was writing a song for that movie. And it's just like, whew. And the other one is Bring on Christmas Day, which is more like a pub kind of like Pogues vibe, you know, little Irishy kind of. But it's like, God, we've had a tough year. Bring on Christmas Day so we can have a drink and just have a hug and just, come on, let's just start afresh in January, but let's have a lovely Christmas time. So yeah, I'm really glad that I have those two tunes, but the rest of it is just like beautiful orchestral covers. And the joy of these gigs is that it's with symphony. So I never get to do that. It's rare that I get to do that. So I can't wait.
Special, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you think of legacy, that's a heavy word. What would you like your legacy to be? I mean, I feel it's already this incredible, talented, genre-crossing artist.
Oh, thank you.
But what else would you like it to be?
I would like it to be that I did a good job as a mum. But no one will know that apart from my kids. So aside from that, from everyone else in the world, I would like it to be that I help people feel good, feel better, feel comforted. Because that's the gig. That's really the gig.
Yeah.
It's not about you. You know, there's a lot of artists that would disagree with me wholeheartedly about this. Like, it's like, no, the art's just for you. You need to make it for you. I get that too. It's a different sort of approach to making art. I don't. I make it for everyone that's eating it. If you're hearing, I'm making it for you. And I just want them to have a nice time. Like, it's sort of like, I get it from my mum, I guess. Like, she always would put on a party at the house. She just wants everyone to have a nice time, you know? And that's sort of like, I just want people to feel comforted by what I have to give, because I've been so comforted by music in my life and by people, you know? I've been comforted, so I want to give that comfort. I want that to be like a purposeful life, you know? Help people feel better.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like way more important than just a little moment. It can be bigger than that. So anyway, hope that happens.
What a beautiful legacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, wasn't it?
And speaking of legacy and music and tour, new album coming out in a year or two is anything planned?
I'm trying to make a disco record, but I don't know what's happening with it. But I've written a bunch of songs in my little forest studio, in my little shed, and that's been fun. And I chucked like a little piece of one in the last gigs. I just like popped it in there just to see the vibe, and it was so good. I really like it, and the audience were like dancing, and they were feeling it. So I'm like, oh yes, this is giving like really happy feelings.
Yes.
So the whole reason I wanted to do the disco thing is because my kids like to dance. So everything's just rolls around the babies now, and everyone else just benefits from that. It's a bit crazy, I know. I'll try and make it soulful, and I won't make it sound like Miss Rachel, although I do love Miss Rachel. I don't want it to sound like you know, Sesame Street. I won't go down that road. It's still going to be soulful.
Well,
Oh,
I
God.
am all here for a disco album.
It'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be so much fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today at the
Thank you.
Buzz. Thank you. And guys, make sure you check out Joss Stone's new single, Loving You. It is out now. It is beautiful. I've already saved it on my Spotify. So check.
Hello, my name is Joss Stone, and you've just been buzzed.
Where did you go? I've been looking around checking for you. Well, the cat's unsproven on the flicker show.